Hi students, this is Course 3, Lesson 3, Addition and Subtraction Word Problems. Make sure you have a title at the top of your page, and then remember that you can pause the video anytime you want to if you need to catch up. I made, on this, what you'll see here, we have a chart. Okay, so it's a T-chart. You're going to title one of the columns Plot Type and the other column Equation. Okay, so now what's a plot type? A plot type is just the scenario or the what's happening. If you think about the plot in a movie, it's, you know, what's the story. Same thing in a story problem, a word problem, we're going to have a type of problem that we have to figure out what's happening. So that's the plot. So the first type that we're going to, that I want you to write down is a combining plot type. And a combining plot type is where you have some and then you get some more and you get a total. Okay, so some plus some more is going to equal a total. And then if you use variables, remember these can be anything you want them to be, but the book will represent it with S plus M equals T. The next plot type is separating. And you know, if you're separating something, you start with something, you start with an amount, and then you subtract whatever went away. And then what you have, the difference would be what's left. So you have S minus A equals L. Again, those can be anything that you want them to be. The third type of plot, and I should have mentioned there are 4 that we're going to talk about today, is comparing. So if you have a greater minus the lesser, so you take the greater number and subtract the lesser or the smaller number from it, and that gives you your difference. And again, they're just using the first letter of those terms, G minus L equals D. The last type that is in this lesson is elapsed time. So we have later minus earlier equals the difference. So you take the later or the more recent date and you subtract the earlier date and you get a difference. So L minus E equals D. Okay, again, I'm going to turn the page. You don't need to. We'll see what we get. Notice what this says right here. Do not write these down. You don't need to write these down. These are just examples. We're going to guess the plot. Okay, so you have those 4 plot types. Remember, you have combining, separating, comparing, or elapsed time. And so one of those 4 is going to be the answer to this problem. And then if you can write the equation, that would be great. So Leo moved to California in 1985 when he was 22. In what year was Leo born? Okay, so pause the video here and try to figure out what the plot is, write the equation, and solve. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and then resume when you're ready. Okay, so your answer should be, this is an elapsed time plot. How much time has gone by? We want to know what year. So we have a date here, and then we need another year. So we have 1985, the later date, minus L equals 22. Solve by subtracting, you get 1973. If I go back here, I used the wrong variable, didn't I? That's what kind of tripped me up. This should be earlier minus, or later minus earlier. This should be L minus E equals D. I'll fix that on here for you. That should be an E. So, same thing. We need the earlier date, so we get 22. Next page. Guess the plot number 2. Again, you're not writing this down. In the first 15 minutes of class, Mrs. Gost handed out 29 papers. By the end of class, Mrs. Gost had handed out 73 papers. How many papers did she hand out after the first 15 minutes of class? Okay, determine the plot, write the equation, and solve. Pause the video and resume when you're ready. Okay, this should be a combination plot. I have some, and then I had some more, and then I had a total, but we're looking for this missing add-end here. So we have 29, the amount I had, plus the amount that I had added to it to get the total, and I would solve by subtracting, and my answer is 42. Guess the plot number 3. The population of Kanawha decreased from 2000 to 2010 from 739 people to 652 people. How many people left Kanawha between 2000 and 2010? Okay, so this is the year. Between those 2 years, the population, or between the 2 time frames, the population decreased. So, how many people left Kanawha between 2000 and 2010? Figure out the plot, write the equation, and solve it. Pause the video, resume when you're ready. Okay, so this is a comparison plot. How much larger is a number than the other? We have an equation, 739, the greater of the 2 numbers, minus 652, the lesser of the 2 numbers, and that will equal the difference. We solve by subtracting, and our answer is 87 people. Last plot to guess. I have $20. If I go to the store to buy chicken and the cashier gives me $8.23 in change, how much did I spend on chicken? Determine the plot, write the equation, solve. Pause the video, resume when you're ready. Okay, so this is a separating plot. I had $20 and then I spent some money at the store, and then I have $8.23 left. So 20 minus A equals 823. I solved by subtracting 823 from the $20, and my answer is 1177. And if you do this on an assignment, it is wrong. This needs a label. Okay? So hopefully that helps you with the plots. Remember that they are combining, separating, comparing, and elapsed time. I hope that answers every question you had about how to write equations for addition and subtraction word problems, and I will see you in class.